Hey everybody, so in today's video we can continue talking about planned distribution switching, and we are going to continue on to the next tier of that operator pyramid when it comes to writing planned distribution switching. So in the previous video we talked about the very top layer of that operator pyramid, which is the external factors, and in this video we're going to be going down to the next level down, which is having to deal with the actual system. So the system, in my opinion, is the most complicated portion of the operator pyramid. It's the most detailed, and it is the most crucial part of the operator pyramid when it comes to writing distribution switching. So because of how in-depth it can be, this portion of the operator pyramid will be broken down into several videos due to the fact that it is quite a bit of information that I have to go over. Right? And it's not something that can be done just in one video alone. So the reason I consider it to be the most complicated is because you're dealing with the most diverse aspect of your job, right? Which is the actual electrical system. This is the point in which you actually have to mess with the electrical system. You have to understand it. You have to break it down. You have to analyze it. You have to see and understand what it is that you're doing. The electrical system, as we all know, is in and of itself is a very complicated network of devices, of systems, of principles that are all working together in unison in order to help provide a valuable resource to the customers, right, and to society in general. And not every time that you write switching, it's going to be the same, right? Each and every single time is going to be different, and sometimes it may be. Right? It may be the same from one day to the next, but more often than not, it's not. This is the most time-consuming part of writing distribution switching. Why? Because oftentimes you're going to find out that you're not going to be able to do it right away. Right? You may be able to grab something previously before, just do simple copy and paste, verify, make your checks, done. Right? But more often than not, you have to take your time to think. And you have to do a considerable amount of investigation. You have to do a considerable amount of analysis. You have to do put considerable amount of thought in what you're doing. You can't just do things blindly. You have to know what you're doing. You have to understand what you're doing. And you have to think critically about how to do things properly. And also, not to mention, you have to take your time to slow down and check. Make sure that everything's done right. Make sure that you're not doing anything wrong. Make sure that you're not doing any unnecessary steps, and that you have to make sure that everything gets done safely and correctly. I consider this to be the most important part of writing distribution switching, simply because if you get this wrong, you could de-energize customers unnecessarily. You could hurt somebody, or you could be wasting valuable time, energy, company resources, and let's face it, right? You're going to be wasting your time and you're going to be wasting your energy if you spend so much time, energy, and focus working on writing the switching, only to, after the fact, come out and realize that it's all wrong, right? Which is why I think that it's very important that you follow an established process, so that way you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting the company's resources, and you make sure that everybody is safe, and you make sure that nobody gets the interest. So this is what I consider to be the meat and potatoes of distribution switching, simply because if you don't have an understanding of the system, you can't write distribution switching. You have to know what it is that you're doing. Because of how complicated it is, I'm not going to be able to explain everything in just one or two videos. It's going to be broken down into several videos. In fact, I'm going to be breaking down into 5 different videos describing this whole just second tier of the operator pyramid. Right? In the first video, I'm going to be talking about analysis of switching. Right? I'm going to be going over several questions that I believe are going to be very important for you to ask when writing distribution switching. In the second video, I'm going to be doing about circuit analysis. This is where you're actually going to be stuck. Going through your system, analyzing it, and I'm going to show you a process step by step on how to actually do it, so that way you don't run the risk of missing something important. In the third video, I'm going to be talking about device analysis. This is where we're going to actually be talking about certain devices out in the system, and this is where you're going to have to start asking yourself certain questions to make sure that when you're writing this distribution switching, you're using the devices properly and that you know which devices you're actually going to be utilizing to do everything correctly. In the fourth video, I'm going to be talking about amperage and line loading analysis. This is where, after you've already decided on what you're going to be doing, the devices you're going to be doing, then this is where you're going to be analyzing to make sure that what you want them to do and what you're proposing to do will actually work. And you're not going to be causing any harm or any issues on the system itself. And finally, in the fifth video, we're going to be talking about voltage considerations and other miscellaneous considerations that you may run into when writing and implementing your distribution switching. So you may be wondering, why is it that I placed the system as the second tier of the operating pyramid and not procedures, right? Because if the system is so important, you would think that it would be lowered down on the bottom of the operating pyramid, right? You would think, hey, you might consider the system to be far more important than, let's just say, procedures, which is the next step down in the operating pyramid. And when I was thinking about it, the reason I came up with having the system as the level above procedures, in other words, I had procedures as a base level below system, is because regardless of what the system is, or regardless of how complicated the system is that you're working with, you can't do anything without the established procedures and rules and regulations within your company that you have to follow. So that's the reason why I decided to put procedures as a bottom layer, a lower layer, a foundational layer of the operator pyramid below the system, because you can't do anything without your established rules, regulations, and your procedures. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and proceed with the next video, talking about actually how to think about distribution switching and how to actually write it.